The spirit of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam.
We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. US Vice President and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris bets on Tim Walz as running mate, says we are going to win, while Trump blasts Walz as liberal extremist. Hamas names an architect of October 7 attacks, Yahya Sinwar, as new political leader. Israel vows to continue to pursue him. US Secretary of State Blinken calls him primary decider on ceasefire. In Bangladesh, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus appointed head of interim government. Country opens, starts slowly returning to normalcy. Garment factories to reopen today. And in historic moment, Vinesh Phogat becomes the first Indian women wrestler to reach Olympic final. Hockey wizards go down fighting to a valiant Germany lineup. Well, on to the details now. US Vice President Kamala Harris shared the stage with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on Tuesday for the first time since he was announced as a running mate for the 2024 presidential election. Walz made a strong debut as US Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate, launching sharp attacks against former President Donald Trump and Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance at a rally in Philadelphia. Walz said violent crime was up under Donald Trump, not even counting the crimes he committed.
He drove our economy into the ground, and make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
Well, the Minnesota governor expressed his eagerness to debate Republican vice presidential candidate Vance.
I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy and, yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see.
And DD India correspondent Benji Hai reports for more from Philadelphia.
This is a campaign reinvigorated, re-energized. Vice President Kamala Harris taking to the stage in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, a city that's now drenched with water in a thunderstorm, but ultimately nothing could dampen the hope and optimism that she espoused as she introduced her new running mate, Tim Walz, to the stage. The Minnesota governor, aged 60, barely a household name just weeks ago, is now second on the ticket for the Democratic Party as they try to keep control of the White House. This is an individual that Kamala Harris sees as someone that could help balance the ticket, someone with an incredible wealth of experience politically, but also outside of politics, a veteran, a former teacher, a former coach of a football team, and someone that can try to reach out across the political aisle to rural Americans in those key battleground states that they really need to try to win if they want to defeat Donald Trump in November. He's also someone that is a very effective communicator when it comes to launching attacks against the Republican Party. He has been on the stage calling J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's running mate, quote, weird. Of course, none of this has stopped the Republicans from hitting back. They lambast Tim Walz as someone that they call dangerously liberal, someone that they say will allow convicted felons to vote. A deeply ironic line, perhaps, given that Donald Trump is himself one. There is newfound hope, there is newfound optimism within the Democratic Party with 90 days to go until polling day. We saw that at this raucous atmosphere at the rally on Wednesday night, and they will hope to continue. They will hope to carry that momentum going forward and inject it further into rallies for the rest of the week, for the rest of the campaign, until that big day, November 5th, when America decides whether it wants Kamala Harris as president or Donald Trump. Benji Haya in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, reporting for DD India.
And now we'll take you live where Manu Bhaker returns to India after winning 2 bronze medals for the country from Paris Olympics 2024. She is at Indira Gandhi International Airport right now. The fans welcoming her there, blessing her. She's been showered with a lot of love as she won 2 bronze medals for the country. Star shooter Manu Bhaker has been confirmed as India's flag bearer for the closing ceremony also of the Paris Olympics. She created history for India at the grandest stage. Bhaker opened the Olympics 2024 medal account of the Asian nation with her podium finish in the individual 10-meter air pistol event.
Hello.
Fans, they're eager to get a glimpse of the lead of the sportswoman there who won laurels for the nation. Bhaker, in fact, doubled India's tally when she joined forces with shooter Sarabjot Singh to back the 10-meter air pistol mixed team bronze for the country. And moving on, the Trump campaign and leading Republicans have launched their first attacks on Tim Walz, labeling him as far-left, dangerously liberal and a radical. Donald Trump, in a social media post, said that Tim Walz would be the worst vice president in history. Trump added that Walz will unleash hell on earth and open the US's borders to the worst criminals imaginable. Republicans' vice president candidate J.D. Vance said that Walz was on the far left of the Democratic Party and chosen because Harris was a radical herself.
My view on it is it just highlights how radical Kamala Harris is. This is a person who listened to the Hamas wing of her own party and selecting a nominee. This is a guy who's proposed shipping more manufacturing jobs to China, who wants to make the American people more reliant on garbage energy instead of good American energy, and has proposed defunding the police just as Kamala Harris does. I think it's interesting, actually, they make an interesting tag team because, of course, Tim Walz allowed rioters to burn down Minneapolis in the summer of 2020, and then the few who got caught, Kamala Harris helped bail them out of jail.
And Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump on Tuesday announced an interview with entrepreneur Elon Musk scheduled for Monday night. Trump made the announcement via a post on Truth Social stating, "On Monday night, I'll be doing a major interview with Elon Musk. Details to follow." There is currently no information available on the interview's time or venue, nor any live streaming alternatives. Owner of X, formerly known as Twitter, Elon Musk banned President Trump from the platform for his part in sparking the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021. After Musk paid $44 billion to acquire the platform, the prohibition was removed. However, Trump still uses Truth Social for his social media interactions. And Hamas chose Yahya Sinwar, one of the architects of the deadly October 7th attack, as the next head of the group's political office, consolidating his power over the terrorist group as it continues the conflict with Israel. Sinwar is seen by Israel as the mastermind behind the October 7th attack by Hamas inside Israeli territory, in which over 1,100 people were killed and more than 200 others taken captive. Sinwar, who spent 2 decades in Israeli prisons, have been long viewed by Israeli officials as a strategist with a keen understanding of their society. He's been Hamas's leader in Gaza since 2017, but he will now replace Ismail Haniyeh, the group's top political leader, who was a key liaison in the indirect ceasefire talks with Israel. And Yahya Sinwar is viewed as one of the Hamas's most influential leaders. Sinwar was born in Khan Yunus in Gaza in 1962. He joined Hamas in late 1980s. Sinwar founded the Hamas security service known as Majd. He was convicted in 1988 of playing a role in the murder of 2 Israeli soldiers and 4 Palestinians suspected of collaboration with Israel. Sinwar spent more than 2 decades in Israeli prisons. Sinwar was released from Israeli prison in a prisoner swap in 2011. The 61-year-old leader was appointed head of Hamas's political bureau in Gaza in 2017. Israel accused Sinwar as the mastermind of October 7 terror attack. Sinwar currently tops Israel's most wanted list. The US includes Sinwar on its blacklist of international terrorists. Sinwar has been recently sanctioned by the United Kingdom and France also. And I will take you back to International Airport, where Manu Bhaker has just returned to India after her 2 bronze medals for the country. She's receiving a warm welcome by the country here after reaching back. Bhaker, in fact, finished 4th in the 25-meter pistol competition after becoming independent India's first athlete to win 2 medals in a single edition of the Olympics. Manu Bhaker is 22 years old. She won 2 bronze medals in a span of 3 days at the Paris Games. In fact, after Manu secured twin medals for the country, fellow shooter Swapnil Kushal also bagged India's 3rd medal in the men's 50-meter rifle, 3 positions at the Paris Games. Also, star shooter Manu Bhaker has been confirmed as India's flag bearer for the closing ceremony of the Paris Olympics on Sunday. She created history for India at the grandest stage as Bhaker opened the Olympics 2024 medal account of the Asian nation with her podium finish in the individual 10-meter air pistol event. Manu Bhaker there bringing pride and glory to the nation, all proud, happy and smiling. And you can see up on your screen, she's waving at the crowds, the fans there cheering at her. Bhaker, in fact, doubled India's tally when she joined forces with shooter Sarabjot Singh to bag the 10-meter air pistol mixed team bronze. Manu has also expressed her gratitude to the Indian Olympic Association. And she said that she's looking forward to raising the Indian flag with immense pride in Paris. She said, and I quote, that it is an honor and privilege to be named as India's flag bearer for the closing ceremony of the Paris Olympics. Leading the outstanding Indian contingent with the tricolour in my hands with millions around the world watching is a truly humbling opportunity and one that I will cherish forever, Bhaker wrote on X. For our viewers, we'll tell you again that Manu Bhaker, who won medals, bronze medals for India, is returning home, bringing a lot of pride and glory to the nation. Manu Bhaker, who's being called the markswoman, India's first to win 2 Olympic medals in a single edition, has landed in New Delhi. She is at Indira Gandhi International Airport right now after a successful campaign at the Paris Games 2024. Crowds there cheering for her as she brought a lot of laurels and glory to the nation. In fact, Manu became the first markswoman from India to win an Olympic medal when she took home a bronze in the individual 10-meter air pistol event. She later teamed up with Sarabjot Singh to win the bronze in the mixed team, also 10-meter air pistol event. People gathered there to welcome and celebrate the 22-year-old for her historic win at the Paris Games. Manu Bhaker, in fact, on Tuesday, the Olympian was felicitated by the International Olympic Committee member and chairperson of Reliance Foundation, Nita Ambani, alongside shooter and bronze medalist in Paris at the India House also. And we have our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya joining us for more from IGI International Airport. Well, Tapas, the grand shooter returning well back home. What's the scene there?
Nipashi, it was absolutely crazy to see the way Indian fans, Indian family member, media personnel all went to receive the golden girl of Indian shooting who has made history. It's really heartening to see that, because the way she was received, a huge garland welcomed her. The family members were there. There was a lot of security also. And right from the time she entered the airport till coming out of the airport, everybody wanted a glimpse of her and take a selfie with her. She is truly what you call a role model for Indian athletes and young Indian women who wants to make a name for themselves in the world. And she has shown, after the heartbreak of Tokyo Olympics, that if you put your heart and mind into something, nothing is impossible. From the heartbreak of Tokyo to the ecstasy in the Paris Games, life has come a full circle for Manu Bhaker.
All right, thank you so much, Tapas there. Of course, people are very ecstatic there, and there's a lot of enthusiasm among the people. Thank you so much for joining us and letting us know the scene there. And coming back, we'll take a short break right now.
The one common theme between all major cities across the world is hope and the promise of new opportunities and possibilities that gravitates people towards them.
The reason why we advocate green transformations is because you can retain the building and you can actually modify.
There's a lot that happens when you extract sand beyond sustainable limits. It's going to change your course of your river, it's going to widen the channel, it's going to damage, and we are paying a big price.
We have 2 water reservoirs on 84 acres of land. During periods when the river water is non-saline, we store water in these reservoirs. Throughout the year, we distribute this water to residents.
Tiny houses are in vogue. Less is more. Many also assume tiny homes are more eco-friendly.
Welcome back. You're watching the India News. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Moving on, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Mohammad Yunus was named Chief Advisor of Bangladesh's interim government on Tuesday. Yunus was appointed to the post by Bangladesh President Mohammad Shahabuddin after he held meetings with student leaders and chiefs of the 3 military services. The 84-year-old Yunus and his Grameen Bank won the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize for work to lift millions out of poverty by granting tiny loans of under $100 to the rural poor of Bangladesh, but he was indicted by a court in June on charges of embezzlement. The leaders of the anti-discrimination student movement had proposed an interim government led by Nobel laureate Dr. Mohammad Yunus. A spokesperson for Yunus said he agreed. Yunus is in Paris for a medical procedure and is expected to return to Dhaka soon. Earlier on Tuesday, Shahabuddin dissolved parliament, clearing the way for the interim government and new elections. The streets of the capital Dhaka were again peaceful on Tuesday, with traffic lighter than usual and many schools and businesses that shut during the unrest still closed. Garment factories, which supply apparel to some of the world's top brands, and are a mainstay of the economy, will reopen on Wednesday after being shut due to the disruptions. And for more on this, we have Prasenjit Bakshi joining us from Kolkata. Well, Prasenjit, Mohammad Yunus to head Bangladesh's interim government as student leaders also showed faith in him. Do you see normalcy limping back to the country as of now?
Look, Lipakshi, it is a good development that the neighboring country is heading for an interim government because as soon as the interim government would take over, we hope that normalcy will come back. But unfortunately, Lipakshi, I say that even now when we are talking, normalcy has not come back, and the random lynching, random murder of minorities, arson, firing, everything is happening there in a open manner. And the most unfortunate part is that a major part of the police force of Bangladesh, they have laid down their job because a huge number of police stations are attacked by the protesters, and huge number of police personnel are killed brutally. So the police personnel, a section of the police personnel, they have refused to join work, and they have not in strike. They are saying that we will not join the work, or otherwise we will leave our job to save our lives. So this is the what I must say, that the abnormal situation in Bangladesh from law and order point of view. But on the other hand, a portion of the authority, they are trying to bring back normalcy. They are trying to bring back our interim government. Again, there is a dispute because what would be the duration of this interim government, that has not been decided. As the spokesperson from the president, they have also confirmed that the duration of the interim government is not confirmed, is not fixed. When, how, and in which process the election will happen, that has not been discussed in present situation. Maybe the primary objective is to form the interim government, bring back the normalcy, and get back the confidence of the external world, what the confidence which Bangladesh has lost due to their such type of killing or unrest.
All right, Prasenjit. So a lot of unpredictability and a volatile situation there. As you said, the police personnel has also literally given up. So what are the implications for India, and what happens next?
Look, as the Foreign Minister Dr. Jaishankar said yesterday within the Parliament, that India is now wait and watch situation. But for as I say, that as the whole world know that I am standing in Kolkata, and the border is just 80 kilometers away from where I am giving this hot switch. Now the entire West Bengal having around 2,000 kilometers of land border and riverine border with Bangladesh, and the border security force is on high alert because a lot of minority casualty happening in Bangladesh, and it is apprehended that a number of minority influx may happen towards the Indian border. So BSF is in full alert. The DG BSF, he was in 2 days visit in different border outposts. So that is there, and at the same time, from diplomatic point of view, India is keeping very close eyes on the development of Bangladesh, and as Foreign Minister has said that a good number of Indian citizens are there, so their safety is also a concern for us. Until and unless normalcy is coming back, I am again saying, Lipakshi, Bangladesh law and order is out of control right at this moment also. Which is happening for the last 4 days, I must say, and this is really a matter of concern for India and the bordering state of India. Lipakshi.
All right, Prasenjit, thank you so much for all that update from there. And moving on, North Korea has criticized Germany's entry into a US-led UN border monitoring force on the Korean peninsula would raise tensions, accusing Washington of creating an Asian version of NATO. Germany, a close U.S. ally, on Friday became the latest member of the United Nations Command, a group that helps police the heavily fortified border between South Korea and North Korea and has committed to defend the South in the event of a war. The North Korean ministry said Germany's entry into the UNC will inevitably aggravate the military and political situation on the Korean Peninsula and the rest of the region, adding that Germany would be wholly responsible for the consequences. DD India correspondent Laura Westbrook reports more on this. Take a listen.
Yes, North Korea has responded to this announcement last Friday that Germany will be joining the United Nations Command. It is the latest country to join the command since Italy joined in 2013. And as you mentioned, this is a group of 18 countries that helps police that heavily fortified border, the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, committed to defending the South. Now, North Korea has responded vehemently against this. It's previously called for the United Nations Command to be dissolved, and in its latest statement, it's said that the U.S. is trying to turn this into the Asian version of NATO. It's also said that Germany's entry is an act that would ruin peace and stability in the Korean Peninsula. It's also warned that Germany will be responsible for the consequences of this action. And it's also said that in response, it will be bolstering its self-defense capabilities, and said that was to deter the current ever-escalating military confrontation on the peninsula. So really a very vehement response from Pyongyang in response to Germany joining the United Nations Command.
And on to some other news now. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said on Tuesday that sufficient police would be on the streets to handle anti-immigrant riots in the coming days. Speaking after an emergency meeting with ministers and police chiefs, Starmer said police would be in place to cope with any further disorder. Starmer said more than 400 people had been arrested and 100 had been charged in connection with the recent riots.
400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are already in court. And I'm now expecting substantive sentencing before the end of this week. That should send a very powerful message to anybody involved, either directly or online, that you are likely to be dealt with within a week, and that nobody, but nobody, should be involving themselves in this disorder.
Well, the European Union has joined a number of countries around the world warning the Venezuela government not to persecute the country's opposition figures. This comes as growing evidence builds against the incumbent president's claims that he won last month's election. DD India correspondent Alex Cardier reports for more from Brussels.
Well, it's been another warning directed at Nicolas Maduro, the incumbent president of Venezuela. Another warning by the European Union. The Foreign Affairs spokesperson Peter Stano saying that this has to stop and that Venezuela and the Maduro government has to stop the intimidation of the judiciary and the intimidation of the opposition. This is after Nicolas Maduro's attorney general said he was launching an investigation against Edmundo Gonzalez, the lead opposition candidate in last month's election, and Maria Corina Machado, who was supposed to be the lead candidate but was banned by the Maduro authorities. That investigation, according to the Attorney General, a close ally of the incumbent President Maduro, was for incitement to intimidation. That is after those two opposition figures encouraged law enforcement to join the people's protest. So this clearly a tension in Venezuela being monitored very closely here in Brussels, a warning from the European Union to stop the intimidation of opposition figures in the country. And this comes as the Washington Post reported that they had seen 28,000 tally sheets, these physical sheets of paper where the votes were counted. They'd seen about 80% of all of them from across the country, and concluded that Mr. Gonzalez and Edmundo Gonzalez in the opposition had won nearly twice as many votes as Nicolas Maduro, who is still clinging on to power. So despite warnings from the EU, which echo warnings from the United States, from other South American countries like Chile and Brazil, despite all of those warnings, the big question will be, what will Nicolas Maduro do next? Alex Cardier in Brussels reporting for DD India.
Well, moving on, Mexico has invited Russian President Vladimir Putin to the October 1st inauguration of President-elect Claudia Sheinbaum. A Russian newspaper quoting Mexico's embassy to Russia said the invitation of the inauguration of President Sheinbaum has been sent to President Putin. The Russian president will decide whether he will participate in the ceremony himself or appoint another high-ranking official to attend on his behalf. President Putin congratulated Sheinbaum on her election victory in June, referring to Mexico as Russia's historically friendly partner in Latin America and indicating that the two countries have been developing close ties. A Russian military unit took part in September 2023 in a parade marking Mexico's Independence Day. And governors in the U.S. states of Georgia and the Carolinas have warned residents to prepare for heavy flooding as tropical storm Debbie hammers the southeastern United States. Forecasters say Debbie is moving back out to sea, where it will refuel with additional moisture before making a second landfall sometime on Thursday. And still to come in DD India News Hour. We'll tell you about the presidential visit to Fiji and a three-nation tour. Marking a milestone in international military cooperation, Tarang Shakti bringing together air forces from many countries. Celebrating the vibrant heritage of Indian textiles, India celebrates National Handloom Day today on the 7th of August.
This summer, the world turns its eyes to Paris, and DD India brings you every heartbeat, every victory, and every story. Introducing our special coverage of the Paris Olympics. Experience the passion, the drama, and the triumphs. With exclusive reports, expert analysis, and up-to-the-minute updates. Join us as we bring the spirit of the Olympics to your screens.
Get ready for the ultimate sporting extravaganza on DD India.
DD India presents Champions Day Paris. Only on DD India. Every day at 6:30 p.m. IST, 1 p.m. GMT.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. Lepakshi Kunan, and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. U.S. Vice President and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris bets on Tim Walz as running mate, says we're going to win, while Trump blasts Walz as liberal extremist. Hamas names an architect of October 7th attacks, Yahya Sinwar, as new political leader. Israel vows to continue to pursue him. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken calls him primary decider on ceasefire. In Bangladesh, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Mohammad Yunus appointed head of interim government. Country opens, starts slowly returning to normalcy. Garment factories to reopen today. And an historic moment, Vinesh Phogat becomes first Indian woman wrestler to reach Olympic final. Hockey wizards go down fighting to a valiant Germany lineup. And now moving on to some other stories. On a visit to Fiji, President of India Draupadi Murmu visited the Sri Siva Subramania Swami temple at Nadi, Fiji, and offered prayers. Accompanied by her daughter and the official delegation from India, President offered prayers at the temple. The temple, dedicated to Lord Subramania Swami, also known as Lord Kartike or Lord Murugan, is built in the traditional Dravidian architecture and is reminiscent of the temples of Tamil Nadu. On Tuesday, India's President Draupadi Murmu addressed Fiji's parliament. She highlighted cooperation in agriculture, climate change, education, space, and renewable energy. Fiji also conferred its highest civilian award, the Companion of the Order of Fiji, on President Murmu. On Tuesday, the president also addressed an enthusiastic gathering of Indian diaspora community in Fiji and hailed the contribution of Indians in the development and close ties between the two nations. While taking a break from the political developments, let us take you to the picturesque New Zealand, where the President of India would be on a 3-day visit. New Zealand is known for its sheep farming and is known worldwide for its serene countryside. Our correspondent Dipendu Mondal, who is in Wellington, gets us this exclusive story on the shapes of New Zealand and the people around sheep rearing in the country.
New Zealand, often called the land of the long white cloud, is renowned for its breathtaking landscapes and thriving sheep farming industry. Sheep outnumber people by more than 6 to 1, making it a cornerstone of New Zealand's economy and culture. Meet Sabin, a dedicated sheep farmer living just a short drive from Wellington. Sabin's journey into sheep farming started almost a decade ago.
Come out! I am here in the Wellington city of New Zealand, joined by these beautiful sheep that give out the world famous wool. Sabine, so tell me something about how you began and how did the idea about this sheep rearing and your love for sheep come about?
So I was a felter in Switzerland working with wool, and then when we moved to New Zealand and bought a farm, I was looking for sheep breeds which I would like to.
Tell me about your experience about sheep rearing and how did you come about with living with so many sheep?
So in Switzerland I have been a felt maker working with wool, and then when we moved to a lifestyle block here in New Zealand.
Sabin's farm is home to over 70 sheep. She treats each of them like her own child. For her, sheep farming is a way of life. Her passion for wool and sheep reflects in her studio. The process of sheep farming is both an art and a science, from breeding and feeding to shearing and wool processing.
My first sheep were English Leicester, and then I fell in love with the Gotlands. So then I got New Zealand Gotlands, but then I saw the Swedish Gotlands, and then I started to upbreed with AI, and then in the end I got some embryos. So I bought sheep in Sweden, brought them to the UK, had them flushed for embryos, and this one is my first Swedish Gotlands, which were born almost a year ago.
The wool harvested from these sheep is not just used locally, but also exported worldwide, symbolizing the global reach of New Zealand's sheep farming industry.
And now we are inside the studio of Sabin, where she's working with the freshly harvested wool from the sheep that you have seen in the farms with her a little while back. Not just this wool which she is currently working with makes these finest of different rugs and carpets, and also these beautiful textiles that is widely available across New Zealand, and it is also one of the most popular wool in the world. With camera person Rajesh Riki, this is Dipendu Mondal from Wellington in New Zealand for DD India.
All right, moving on, the India's Ministry of External Affairs in association with Confederation of Indian Industries hosting Bimstec Business Summit in the national capital. First Bimstec Business Summit, which began on Tuesday, regional cooperation in trade and investment as well as energy and regional connectivity gets an impetus. MOS External Affairs Minister Pabitra Margarita inaugurated the business summit.
The timing of this event is appropriate, coming at it thus after the second Bimstec Foreign Ministers Retreat, which I had the honor to attend, and in the lead up to the 6th Bimstec Summit, which is less than a month away. I'm confident that this event will impart more momentum to the growing Bimstec process and underline India's commitment to it.
We identified sectors for pursuing regional cooperation. It has the requisite political support of its members. It's ready to engage external developmental partners, and it's ready to reform and repurpose itself based on the forthcoming report of the Eminent Persons Group.
Well, the Indian Meteorological Department reports that the monsoon trough is currently active and positioned south of its usual location at mean sea level. A depression that was affecting northeast Rajasthan and surrounding areas has moved west-northwest and has now weakened into a well-marked low-pressure area. Scattered to fairly widespread rainfall is anticipated over the week in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi. Heavy rainfall is likely at isolated places in Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and coastal Andhra Pradesh. An update on Wayanad now. The death toll from the massive landslides in southern state of Kerala's Wayanad district has reached above 400 so far. The relief and search operations are ongoing. The Indian Air Force, in coordination with other agencies such as National Disaster Response Force and State Administration, has been carrying on airlifting critical logistics supplies as well as evacuation operations. Heavy rainfall triggered landslides in Wayanad last month. And on 7th of August, India celebrates National Handloom Day, a day dedicated to honouring the handloom weavers of the country and their contributions to the rich tapestry of Indian culture and economy. This day not only celebrates the vibrant heritage of Indian textiles, but also aims to promote and support the weavers and artisans who have kept these traditional crafts alive for generations. Here's a report by DD India's correspondent, Kriti Badhera. Take a look.
National Handloom Day is celebrated every year on August 7th, marking the launch of the Swadeshi movement in 1905. The day serves as a reminder of the importance of indigenous craftsmanship and the need to support the artisans who create these unique handwoven products. This day aims to bridge the gap by promoting the handloom sector and encouraging consumers to choose handwoven products. The day also honored the handloom workers of the country to provide motivation and sense of pride to the handloom industry by appreciating their contribution to the cultural, traditional and economic landscape of the country.
Handloom weaving is not just a profession for us, it's a way of life. Each piece we create is a part of our heritage and we take pride in keeping these traditions alive.
Handloom sector is key to women empowerment. Over 70% of handloom weavers and allied workers are women. From traditional saris to modern home decor items, the handloom industry offers a wide range of products that reflect India's artistic heritage. Young entrepreneurs are increasingly advocating for the country's local artisans through their innovative startups.
The Indian handloom textile is a testament to the cultural diversity and our rich heritage. By incorporating this craftsmanship into our modern fashion, we are uplifting the lives of thousands of artisans and also promoting our rich heritage to the global level. We wanted to create a platform where we can be vocal about our local products and also uplift the life of Indian artisans. We are very proud of our Indian heritage because they are the important piece of our history and culture. We not only want to promote the Indian heritage in Indian subcontinents, but want to take it globally.
The theme of National Handloom Day 2024 is Weaving Sustainable Futures. This theme underscores the importance of sustainable fashion and eco-friendly choices. It encourages individuals to adopt handloom products, which are often made from natural fibers and dyes, and to support the artisans who create these beautiful and unique items. By choosing handloom, we contribute to environmental conservation and the preservation of traditional crafts. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
While sharing a video on X, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his greetings on National Handloom Day. He wrote, and I quote, "We take immense pride in the rich heritage and vibrant traditions of handlooms across our nation. We also cherish the efforts of our artisans and reiterate our commitment to be vocal for local." Unquote. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. Amid heightened security, another batch of pilgrims to leave for Baltal and Pahalgam for Amarnath Yatra from Panth Chowk Base Camp in India's Srinagar. The Amarnath Yatra commenced on June 29th and will conclude on the 19th of August. The iconic garden Amarnath Yatra at Rashtrapati Bhavan will open for general public from 16th August to 15th of September. President Draupadi Murmu will grace the opening of Amarnath Yatra Summer Annual Edition 2024 on the 14th of August. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Big day for India at the Paris Olympics as Indian athletes compete for multiple medal matches. We'll show you an exclusive interview with boxer Lovlina Borgohain at the Paris Olympics after her campaign ended in the quarter-finals. Well, on to some business news now. Asian share markets extended gains on Wednesday, led by a bounce in the Nikkei following the Bank of Japan's unexpected indication of reluctance to further raise interest rates while markets are volatile, which leads to a sharp fall in the yen. Japanese shares swung up and down in morning trade on Wednesday, reversing course from early losses in a roller coaster week of double-digit losses and gains in the benchmark Nikkei share average. Bank of Japan Deputy Governor Shinichi Uchida said on Wednesday the central bank won't raise interest rates when financial markets are unstable. And for more on Asian markets, we have Laura Westbrook joining us from Hong Kong. Well, Laura, the return of relative calm came after global markets tumbled in the recent days. Asian share markets extended gains with a bounce back. What all is expected?
Yes, we are seeing Asian shares up on Wednesday morning. And to give you a sign of the volatility that we're seeing in Japan with Japanese stocks, the Nikkei fell when it was opened, when the market opened, before surging 2.3%. So it fell and then it rose quite a lot. This comes after the Bank of Japan's deputy governor made these comments and ruling out further interest rate hikes while the market remains unstable. This has been seen to boost investor confidence, and markets across the rest of Asia have followed suit from Japan. We've seen South Korea's Kospi rise around 3%. We've also seen Taiwanese stocks up as well as the Hong Kong Hang Seng Index up around 1%. And to give you a sense of the volatility that we've been seeing over the last week, Japanese stocks fell 12% from last Thursday to Monday this week. That was the heaviest ever and wiped out around $1.1 trillion from one of the world's biggest markets. Then on Monday, those stocks, the Topics and the Nikkei, surged 10%, their steepest rally in 16 years.
All right, Laura, it seems the market rout is far from over. Thank you so much for joining us and letting us know all that update from Hong Kong. And now to all the updates from Paris Olympics. Well, Indian wrestler Vinesh Phogat defied huge odds to assure herself of a medal at the Paris Olympics by reaching the final in the women's 50 kg wrestling event on Tuesday. The 29-year-old Vinesh Phogat also became the first Indian woman wrestler to reach an Olympic final in wrestling. Vinesh stormed into the women's 50 kg final on the back of 3 stunning wins. She defeated reigning Pan-American Games champion Yunus Guzman of Cuba in the semi-finals after getting the better of former European champion Oksana Levach of Ukraine in the quarter-finals. Vinesh will now compete in the gold medal match against Sarah Hildebrandt from US at the Paris Olympics on Wednesday. And in yet another heartbreak for India, India lost to Germany 2-3 in the men's hockey semi-final match at the Paris Olympics 2024. Skipper Harmanpreet Singh and Sukhjit Singh scored for India, while Gonzalo Pelliot, Christopher Rahr and Marco Militka were the scorers for Germany. India will now face Spain in the Olympics bronze medal match. In the last edition of Olympics at Tokyo, India had won the bronze medal. And India's Narayan Singh spoke to fans gathered to watch the semi-final match in Paris.
India lost the semi-final match against Germany, but they played a fantastic hockey here. Now they will play the bronze medal match against Spain. So to talk more on this, we are joined by some fans who will tell what went wrong with India. Fantastic hockey, but somehow we lost the match. So what do you think, what went wrong for India?
I think they played their hearts out. A couple of little things went wrong. You know, penalty corners, missing a couple of players. Not going to comment too much, but missing a few players that were defending the penalty corners very well and weren't there in this match, and not converting on our opportunities.
True. So Amit Rohidas was not there. Yes. Again, definitely that was a vital cog in the Indian defense. Do you think the absence of Amit Rohidas was a factor behind this lose?
I think Amit Rohidas is very expert in taking on the penalty shooter, penalty corner shooter. We were missing that. All their balls were going towards the goal. None of them were stopped until the third half, in the third quarter, when we started stopping the balls.
We'll get the bronze, hopefully. We will definitely get a medal and play better in the next game.
I think physically you could see that India felt a little bit, out of gas. The Germans were much physically stronger, I thought, in the game. But let's not take anything away from the Indian team. They played brilliantly well. And I think it was just not the day for them to win.
Yeah, surely India will win. This day they did really good, but they lost. But it's okay, and they will surely win for bronze medal. Check the India.
We know that they lost against the Germany, but we know that there were few reasons Amit Rohidas was not there, and hopefully with the return of Amit Rohidas, our defense will be very packed in the bronze medal match against Spain, and we know that we have a fantastic record against Spain too, and we are hoping that definitely Indian team will win a bronze medal in this edition of the Olympic Games. With camera person Senthil, Narayan Singh, DD India, Paris.
Well, a lot of optimism there in Indians in Paris there. Moving on, Narayanan, speaking of today, which events at the Paris Olympics will be in focus, and especially Vinesh Phogat, who has already made history, and how much more she can enhance that history by winning a gold medal.
Today could be a golden day for the Indian contingent at the Paris Games. We know that yesterday Vinesh Phogat, we can say that an exceptional performance by her, and today she will play the gold medal match against the US wrestler, and we know that if she can just continue the performance that she delivered yesterday in the gold medal match, nobody can stop Vinesh Phogat, because she defeated the Japanese wrestler who had an unbeaten streak of 82 matches, and just breaking that unbeaten streak, it is a monumental moment not only for the Indian wrestling but Vinesh Phogat too, because we know that that wrestler from Japan was also Olympic champion in Tokyo. She was also the 4-time world champion, and defeating that unbeaten streak, we can say that boosted the confidence of Vinesh Phogat. After that, she won her quarterfinal and the semi-final match. We can say that if she can carry that confidence, it will be enough for her to win a gold medal for India. And apart from Vinesh, Antim Pangal will also feature in the 53 kg category. And we all know that Antim Pangal is one of the best talented and young wrestler. If she played to her potential, she can defeat any opponent. And at the junior level too, we can say that brought laurels for the country. And it's a chance for her to showcase her talent at this level and add one more medal for the country in this edition of the Games. Going to track and field, well, Anu Rani will be there, the Asian Games gold medalist in the javelin throw. If Anu just can translate that performance here in Paris also, definitely she is also a medal contender for India. And in table tennis, the women's team of Archana, Srija Akula and Manika Batra will play against Germany, and we know that what kind of performance they did in their pre-quarter final match, defeated Romania, and again we are hoping that they will repeat that performance for India and book their berth in the semi-finals of the tournament. And talking about golf, where Aditi Ashok, who missed the medal by a whisker in the Tokyo Olympics, will continue her journey, hoping that this time around she will win the medal here at the Paris Games. Also, Diksha Dagar will be there in the women's golf. So all in all, a fantastic day ahead for the Team India, and all hopes are pinned down to Vinesh Phogat, and we too hoping that definitely she will win a gold medal for India today at the Paris Games.
All right, Narayan, thank you for all that update from Paris. And moving on, boxer Lovlina Borgohain's campaign at the Paris Olympics ended in the quarterfinals, where she fought bravely. In an exclusive interview with DD India correspondent Narayan Singh, Lovlina said that she took many positives from her experiences at the Games.
Lovlina missed the medal by a small margin here at the Olympics. Right now she is with us. Lovlina, बहुत बेहतरीन खेला, but medal miss हो गया. Part and parcel of the game है. तो क्या सीखने को मिला इस बार ओलंपिक से?
सीखने के लिए तो हम जब हारते हैं और भी ज़्यादा सीखने के लिए मिलते हैं. मेरा प्रिपरेशन इस बार बहुत अच्छा था. मैं खुद बहुत ज़्यादा होप था कि मैं कर पाऊंगी, मैं कलर भी चेंज करके लेके चलूँगी, लेकिन नहीं हो पाया. पता नहीं कहाँ क्या स्ट्रोक रह गया मेरे से. अभी इसको देखना है, अच्छे से एनालाइज करना है और फिर आगे बढ़ना है और एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा कि जो हो गया वो भगवान का ही कुछ है कि मुझे कुछ और दिखाना चाहते हैं.
You are at India House. Many Indians are there. Indian food is there. Indian culture is there. Are you enjoying? Indian wives are there.
Yes, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि यहाँ इंडिया हाउस में पहली बार ओलंपिक में ऐसा एक एनवायरनमेंट देखने को मिल रहा है. इतने सारे लोग हैं, इतने सारे फैंस हैं और जैसे नीता मैम से भी मिले हैं, पहली बार मिली हूँ, तो बहुत एक अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट है. बहुत अच्छा फील हो रहा है. इंडियन फूड मिल रहा है, तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
So it's a fantastic experience for Lovlina here at the India House. Also, she said that it's a learning curve here at the Olympics, and definitely she will next time do better. With camera person Senthil, Narayan Singh, DD India, Paris.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.